What up, Brewhouse listeners? Yeah, that took like 15 tries to do that, actually, because we haven't done this in forever.
Yep.
Yeah, we've had a couple things that were unexplainable.
Unexplainable sightings.
Yeah.
These tracks are actually recorded.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to be able to edit these ones. Yeah.
What a concept.
We were formerly on Squadcast, and I'm not going to drag them through the mud, but they did lose our last three sessions.
They're in internet space somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly.
They're in Brewhouse jail for us, actually. Yeah.
I made a whole bunch of memes. I made a whole bunch of memes. It was great because I had nothing to do. I was like, I could be editing this episode or these episodes, but instead I'm going to make memes.
Yeah, that's actually
it was great.
Only content that Ryan has submitted to the Instagram in months.
Years.
Yeah, years.
Years.
So cheers to that.
I was frustrated.
It was one of the best. One of the best. So we're on Riverside FM, which their CEO even emailed us.
Really?
Yeah, I was telling Ryan in the car.
Aww.
He likes craft beer.
That's cool.
I said, yeah, so does everyone else. No, you're not really that cool.
You're not cool anymore.
My dad doesn't like craft beer.
My dad doesn't really.
He doesn't drink, though.
He tells me he likes craft beer, and then he says it's too hoppy for him.
Oh,
yeah, that's fine. Whatever.
Has flavor. Sorry.
I agree. But sometimes it's too hoppy. I'm not going to drag him through the mud either, but sometimes. But where are we today? Upton, Massachusetts?
Is it Upton?
Yes.
Yeah?
Upton.
Okay, good.
Not to be confused with Upton, Maine, because that's very, very, very far.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a place, apparently.
It is.
Okay.
So we're at Rushford Sons. Did I say that right?
Yeah, Rushford and Sons.
Rushford and Sons. Rushford and Sons.
Yes.
Are you guys the sons of Rushford?
No. Well, I mean, technically I am in one sense that, yes, my father was also a Rushford, but he's not involved with the business.
Okay.
Cool.
But yeah. We're going to get into that.
Definitely.
You guys want the story now? Or?
We're going to get into it, yeah. But we usually tell our listeners what we've been drinking.
Yeah. I had their dry Irish stout.
That's all you've been drinking all summer since the last time our fans have talked to us?
Literally just pounding it. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So great.
I told myself I was going to drink Kolsch all summer.
It did not happen.
And it did not happen.
Yeah.
No? Oh.
Summer of Kolsch 2023.
I believe it.
That's what I'm declaring right now.
Okay, we'll start now.
Yeah. And but overall, I've been just drinking like low ABV.
I've been killing the session IPAs.
Yeah.
That is definitely my thing this summer.
Anyone in particular?
Which is crazy. No, just whenever I see a session IPA, I just love it. Like 3-4%.
And you just buy it.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go for it. But always lagers. I've always been drinking lagers too. So.
I was lucky enough to drive through Portland, Maine last weekend. So
How was that?
It was awesome. I stopped at Allagash.
Did you?
Their beer all sucks.
It's
it's really good. Every beer they make is really good.
Amazing.
I went to Bissell for the first time since we've gone.
That was a long time ago.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
And I was in like a double IPA mood, and they do a good job.
You're feeling it.
Do a good job.
Cool.
Yeah, Ryan, what about you? Oh, Miller High Lifes, of course. We've been drinking.
You, not me.
Oh, because I drank all of them that time you came to my house.
Exactly. I brought in this fucking pack, and he comes in, and he just like, can I use some of these? And then he just gives everyone a spaghetti.
I was going to say, did he spaghetti about it?
Yeah.
We spaghetted everybody. Yeah,
so
we spaghetted about it.
Bye-bye Miller. I had like 3 beers, and all my beer was gone.
Yeah.
Where did it go?
Yeah.
No, I had some stuff from Sylvaticus, Great Mosh. Who else did I get stuff from? Oh, Schilling.
Yep.
Yeah.
We went to Anonymous as well.
Yes, we went to Anonymous. Yes.
Yeah.
What did we get? We got the Bach, right? I got the Bach, which is one of their lagers they have over there.
I got Zeke.
Oh, you got the Zeke.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Good times though.
Yeah.
All beer,
Best
good
times.
beer.
Yeah.
Most of the time, all the time.
A lot of breweries doing fun things, but I've been seeing Erica your Pink Boots post about Oktoberfest,
Oh, yeah.
and that got me like so excited because
It's
About
coming.
what? Pink
October.
Boots or Oktoberfest?
both.
Oh, okay.
Both. Yes. But Oktoberfest is the best time of the year. For
It
me.
is.
Yeah.
I'm very excited. There's so many.
Yeah.
Yes.
So stay tuned. We're going to be talking about Oktoberfest for the next couple months
For sure.
because we're excited.
Yep.
All right. So we are here with Brian and Mike. How are you?
Well, how you doing? Thank you for coming.
No problem. Sorry we were late.
Yeah, someone forgot the stand,
Yeah.
so we had to go to Guitar Center and then get more stands.
Just
But we're here.
One of those days. And
Just
we're
one of those days.
starting with a bang.
Yeah.
We're killing it.
Yeah, we are starting with the bang.
Bang.
Upton, Mass. Is this the only brewery in Upton?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. Did the greater population like say like we need a brewery, or are you from here? Like what is?
So it was actually this funny sort of confluence of events that led us here. We decided that when we decided that we wanted to go ahead and open a brewery, one of the hardest things to figure out is, okay, well, where do we go? Where do we put it? To answer your question, no, we're not from Upton. We're actually both born and raised in Worcester.
Okay.
I live in Whitensville now, and he lives in Holliston.
Oh, so it is Whitensville. It's not Whitensville.
I've only ever heard it called Whitensville.
Oh, okay. That's good to know because I don't know how to read or pronounce things. So
that's fine. Me too.
Cool.
But so when we were deciding where we should look, Brian has a real estate development business that he also has, and he was buying a property in Worcester. And the seller of the property said to him, "Oh, you're looking at opening a brewery. Oh, you should talk to my brother-in-law. He's the town manager of Upton, and they're looking for a brewery." And we said, "Okay, well, let's do that."
Yeah.
So we talked to him. His name was Derek Brindisi. He's since moved on to bigger and better things, but he was incredibly receptive to the idea. We met with him, and one of the funny things is, like, if you open Google Maps and you just search for brewery, you find this circle of breweries, and smack dab in the middle is Upton.
Yeah.
There was nothing there, and so we were like, score.
Done.
Yeah. So
geographically it made sense.
Geographically it made sense. Demographically it made sense.
Yeah.
We were able to find this great spot, and I mean, we've just been plugging away ever since.
Yeah, I do have to say it is an awesome spot. We came in. I love the exposed ceilings. I love the beams on this. Was this a former garage or something?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. This used to be Thompson Oil Company.
Okay.
Nice.
So
Shout out to Thompson Oil Company.
yeah.
All right.
Drink some for them.
So you
I'll
can
drink
see,
to that.
For instance, you can see the chain fault still hanging from the I-beam there. That's original. We had so many,
Nice.
as Brian loves to say, we've had so many contractors come in here and say, "Oh, how much do you want for the chain fall?" And Brian had already responded, "I don't know. That depends. How big of a financial mistake do you want to make?" I'm sorry, I stole your line from you.
I always say how bad a financial decision you want to make is actually my
Wow.
line, but
We can read between the lines.
Better
We
next
know
time.
you're
no, we don't want to sell it because that thing is pretty cool. And so, by the way, the place was designed by my wife, who is a professional interior designer, copper.interiors.com.
That's why it's so nice.
Yep. Well, of course, I'm like, hey,
Well, it wasn't us, that's for sure.
I could have told that.
well, because too, we opened during the pandemic. We opened December 2020 for curbside can sales. So of course we were doing this. Our budget was Scotch tape and bubble gum.
Yeah.
So it's okay. How do we make this place look nice, like a place we want to hang out with and hang out at without any money? And so my wife is professionally good at that. So.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
We usually start the podcast by asking your roles at the brewery, but I like the space, and I think people gravitate towards the space as well. But now we want to know.
Okay, so I'm Brian.
Yep.
I am kind of the sales and operation guy. Mike, who was speaking earlier, is the head brewer. His last name is Rushford. It is Rushford and Sons because he has two sons. I always said, when I make the beer, I'll put my name on the side of the building. Until then, he gets his. But yeah, so those are our roles. And in terms of the space, just to talk about that for just a minute, my whole thing is I think our beer is world class and it holds up with anybody's. With that said, you can drive 10 minutes down the road, pick a direction, and get a world class beer. Why do people? You can go, buy some world class beer at the liquor store for, not get a 4-pack for not a lot of money. Well, less money than you'd be buying pints here, at the brewery. So what do we do to get people to come here and drink our world-class beer and spend time here? And our focus isn't just on world-class beer. Of course you need world-class beer, because if you don't, the bar is so high around here. If your beer isn't reaching that bar or even exceeding it, you're not going to make it anyway. But not just that, we need the environment and community as well, because that's what really makes a brewery special. It's not just good. Of course, the world-class beer is important. You need that.
Of course.
But it's everything else around. It's
What's going to keep them around?
Yeah, well, it's the
right?
culture and the environment around that world-class beer that, everything works together to make it successful.
Well, that just led me to my next question. So what's the culture you're trying to build?
So here at Rushford and Sons, very family-friendly, and we are very, I always say, even though we're doing a lot more events and a lot more entertainment here, the entertainment here will always be the friends you know and the friends you make along the way. We try to have an environment that is very welcoming and conducive to speaking with other people. Now, while we are going to start doing movie Mondays and doing football games here, because again, football games, muscling Mike into it because I like making money on Sundays and, hey, but still the football game can be a shared experience. But in general, we're never going to have screens here. I know whenever I go to a bar or brewery and they have ESPN on mute, I don't really want to watch it, but I'm moth to a flame, and I'm looking at not even reading the subtitles because it's on mute, but it's
what they're saying.
I mean, sure, that doesn't matter. But the whole point is, we wanted people to come here. We have a great range, age range. We got a lot of young families, a lot of younger population, a lot of older population, and everybody comes here and talks. We have so many now that we've been open for a couple. Well, it'll be 2 years in December. But now that we've been open for a bit, we have a lot of groups of friends who met here and now hang out here all the time.
Yeah.
And just being kind of, in Upton, Massachusetts. I always joke, when I was first introduced to Upton in Massachusetts, the gentleman I was speaking to was like, "Hey, have you ever considered Upton?" I said, "Never once in my life."
Yeah.
But, now that we're here, it's a bedroom community that was looking for that sense of community here, not just going elsewhere for that community.
Yeah, this kind of draws a parallel to Anonymous Brewing in Raleigh. That's my hometown. I'm born and raised. I still live there. No breweries, but if you throw a dart, you can hit world-class breweries everywhere in that area. So kind of a similar story, smaller operation, but they're building that sense of community. But the thing that I've noticed here, and I think at Anonymous as well, is they didn't try to change the culture. They tried to embrace the culture and bring it full circle. Was that important for you?
Well, absolutely. And a lot of the vibe and the environment here wasn't just our vision. It was the vision of the people around here who wanted some place to go. And that's the nice thing. I know one of our bartenders had worked at another brewery for a while as a bartender here in Massachusetts. And his comment to us, after he's been working here for a couple months was, at the previous brewery I worked at, maybe 5% of the customers were regulars, and easily 30-40% of the customers on every weekend are people who are here all the time. And, really to your point, embracing the community that's here and giving them a space to be theirs was really all our goal. Yeah. I mean, if we wanted to be rich, we wouldn't be selling beer in Upton, Massachusetts. But really, not only selling great beer that we're proud of, but to a community that we can be a part of and have an impacting positive benefit to. I mean, it's those two things hand in hand were always kind of our vision.
It kind of goes back to pre-prohibition breweries, right? And then it also goes back to European style, where there's so many breweries on every corner that it becomes that local watering hole, public house, right? That was the term that was used back then, because it was a place where people did business, brought their family, had a meal, That's what's really cool. Yeah. Because we get asked all the time for people who aren't in the community, when's it going to hit its bubble, right? Like, when is craft beer going to hit its bubble? It's like, my personal opinion, I don't think it will.
It doesn't need to.
It doesn't need to, yeah.
Like, exactly. It was before Prohibition. Every town had their local watering hole. Right. You had a tavern that made stuff and you sold it, and that's where you went. You went there to hang out with your friends and family and commune and just have a great time with people. And after Prohibition was repealed, everything just kind of was taken over by the big kids. Yeah.
And the bars and the restaurants.
And then the big brewers. They dominated for the longest time until we had more of a resurgence in more recent times, where just now it seems like most towns are starting to get their own little local place. And that was really what we wanted to do, was just carve out our own little niche and just kind of live there.
But even if you think 10 years ago, right? Do you think Upton would have wanted a brewery 10 years ago?
Oh, most likely not.
Right. It's right? So funny, right? You think about that.
Yeah, the way that craft beer and the appreciation thereof has grown has definitely impacted people's perceptions of what a craft brewery is and what it has to offer. It's not just a place you go to have drinks and slam beers. It's you come here because you're here with friends. You're hanging out. It's we have beer. That's awesome.
Right.
But
beer's the vessel for a conversation.
Exactly. Yeah.
was going to say, if you want to make your podcast 3 hours, I can give you guys my TED talk on the role of different alcohol in our lives. The role of beer as a
We'll definitely come back for that.
community focal point. But yeah.
Yeah, that's part of our Brewery's TED Talk coming up next month, so don't worry.
Stay tuned for that.
Yeah. But the community of Upton, right? Working class, pretty small town, people go to high school here, live here, and retire here for the most part.
I think that we do have a lot of people who have come here from elsewhere. We have a lot of...
it's a suburb of Worcester, right?
It is,
yeah.
So we're 20 minutes southeast of Worcester-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, really, you do see a lot more younger families here who, want to have, the 1.7 kids and the white picket fence.
Yep.
But when you go to the other side of 495, prices right now are pushing people further west.
Insane.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
and even
absolutely.
then, Upton, for being kind of a small town in the middle of no, I mean, we're not that far off 495, and not that far from the Pike, but still being kind of a small town of under 10,000 people, a lot of the population are transplants who ended up here because going 2 towns over, the house was twice as much. And also the nice thing is Upton is a very safe community, a lot of great public school system, and a lot of stuff. And it's, again, going to be half the price of going 2 towns further east. So a lot of young families are here too, and especially with young families having, who are not working in Upton, and there's not a lot of, there's not really a big restaurant or bar scene or anything like that in Upton. Having kind of that community focal point, there was definitely a vacuum where we're kind of trying to fill. That, you're right, is kind of new in the last 10 years with the changing demographic of the town.
Yeah. I want to get into, you've mentioned world-class beer a couple times, right?
This is a beer podcast, I suppose, right?
Yeah, but how did you learn how to make world-class beer? But we are going to get into that when we talk to our sponsors first, and then we're going to get into that. So take it away, sponsor machine.
Did you know that your favorite Massachusetts breweries use hops from a local family-owned hop farm right here in Massachusetts?
Our friends over at 4 Star Farms are there for you whether you're a commercial brewery or a small batch home brewer.
Make sure to head over to their website today and get your hands on some of the best and freshest hops available locally. Cheers.
At our local homebrew shop, Beer and Wine Hobby, you can get everything you need to make beer, wine, cider, cheese, and more. Not sure where to start? They have knowledgeable staff there to help. Beer and Wine Hobby is family-owned and located in Danvers, Massachusetts. Visit their website, beer-wine.com, and use our promo code BREWROOTS for 10% off your online order today.
Shirts on Tap is the box subscription service for craft beer lovers. Each month, Shirts on Tap partners up with 7 different breweries from across the country and collaborates on a sweet custom shirt design. We've been teamed up with Shirts on Tap since the inception of the podcast and are proud to announce a new promo code for all of our listeners. To get your first shirt for $5 off, go to the link in our description below and use the promo code. And remember, drink better beer, wear better shirts.
All right, so we're back.
World-class beer.
World-class beer.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah. You don't just come out of the womb brewing world-class beer, right?
Well, some people do.
Or do you?
Who gave you that title?
Yeah, like how did you?
Yeah, how do you know you made world-class beer? And did you just say you did, or did other people say that you did?
I've never made that claim myself.
Sorry, I'm looking at this guy. I forgot.
Brian,
The salesman made that.
Yeah, the sales. There it is.
Yes.
So
I have to say, it's very good beer.
It is.
very
It is
good.
great.
well, he's always been extremely, hugely supportive of all my brewing endeavors, and
Wait, can we back it up just like 2 weeks? How do you guys know each other?
Just 2 weeks.
Just 2 weeks. Yeah.
So we have a third partner who's more of a minority holder, but
A silent partner.
No, he's our tiebreaker on anything. But also, so we both independently knew him, and then we met at his bar mitzvah.
Oh, mazel tov.
So we've known each other since we were like 13.
Okay.
And have been tolerating each other ever since.
Yeah,
Nice.
we're both 40.
Mutual
I'm-
toleration.
He's 40. I'll be 40 in a couple months. So.
Yep.
Yep.
No, so the trio of us are basically kind of like childhood best friends, and know entirely too much about each other and what makes each other tick, and just how to really rub each other the wrong way most of the time. But
Thought running a business would be really good to
Yeah,
do
so-
together. Then
so-
cool.
so our other partner, his name's Eric.
Hey, Eric.
Hi, Eric. Bye, Eric. What? Hi. So Eric and I started. We started brewing in 2006. We went to a place in Shrewsbury on Route 9 called Deja Brew,
Yeah.
which is a
yes.
brew on premises place, and that place is magnificent. And so we started doing that there, and eventually realized, we can just bring this back to the house and just make it ourselves and do it there. And so we did that, and
Ruin some stoves.
yeah,
Yeah.
my mom's stove in particular, she was thrilled.
Love it.
Yep. But we just kept doing like iterative engineering on processes, on equipment, and on everything. And eventually what it turned into was, so I'm an engineer by trade, so I ended up just building my entire own automated system.
Yep.
I wrote an Android app, and I controlled it all via my phone. It was like,
Nice.
this is awesome.
Nerd.
Oh, you don't
It's okay. I'm an engineer too. You can say it.
You don't know half of it, and I love it and revel in it. But so it always turned into one of those things. And Brian, being a career salesman, would always give me like the little elbow, like hint, hint, winch, winch, nudge, nudge. When you want to go pro, let me know. And I'm like, that's not gonna happen. I don't know. And he's like, dude, beer's good. You got to do this. And so eventually, I came to this sort of epiphany moment where I said, okay, I'm kind of really tired of making money for other people. And so
That's how that goes.
so I called up Brian. I was like, yeah, let's do it. Fine.
I'm
You
done.
twisted my arm.
No, is this your full-time job now?
Since July of 2020.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank
That's
you.
awesome.
Yeah, both of us, we threw caution to the wind and
Done.
just went all in.
Yeah.
Again, if you're going to be a bear, be a grizzly. If you're going to
Yeah.
make beer, if you're going to make beer and open a brewery and sell it, if you don't believe in it and believe that you have a product that you can sell, I mean, yeah. So, yeah.
Exactly.
So, were you? Did you brew professionally beforehand, or?
No. It was all just a lot of just doing stuff in my basement and trying to perfect that craft.
So did you go from like a 10-gallon to a? You said 3.5 gallon earlier, I think.
Yeah, so now we're
Or
at
that's
3.5
barrel.
Barrel, gallon.
Yeah, we downsized.
Yeah.
So, no. Yeah,
We
so
actually
Crazy.
drank all of their beer for the week, and they are fucked.
They're done.
Yeah.
thanks, guys.
You'll get exposure though, so it'll be really cool. Also, you have to pay us $50 to do it. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, so that's exactly, we did that. And it's one of the funny things is when we were conceptualizing this and we had our business plan in place, and this is jumping around a little bit, so forgive me there chronologically.
It's okay.
Nobody knows. Don't worry. Yeah.
When we went to go try to raise money, COVID hit. This was so we started shopping around in January of 2020.
That's quite the buzzkill.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. People's wallets dried up immediately.
Yeah.
So we had our original business plan was to start with everything as you see it. To have the full tap room built out, to have the brew system in place, the brew house that we have. And so that doesn't happen when people, don't want to spend any money.
Right.
Yeah.
So we had to pivot our business plan hard. And what we wound up doing was we took my homebrew system from my house, brought it here, and we did 3 turn days.
Oh,
just
wow.
To make, so we did an 11-hour day just to make 1 barrel of beer.
Oh my God.
So that was
Good for you, man.
I don't know how good it was for us.
that was Brian and I 3 days a week. That's what we were doing just to.
Dang.
Yeah. Are you sleeping much now?
I mean, no, but that's a different story.
Yeah. Crippling anxiety. No,
Oh, God. Last night I had a nightmare that all of our chillers died.
yeah.
I don't know why. That's where my brain goes.
We actually
Brewers.
we just saw. It's so funny. I just saw a meme online for another brewer that works at Faces, and hers was waking up in bed, and I left the hot liquor tank on all night. I was dying. It was
I have
so
done that.
funny, yeah.
Oh my God, it was awful. I have done that, and I came in the
Blood in
morning.
the
I'm like,
blaze?
no, it was just the heat and
Oh, okay,
everything. It's like
that's-
awesome,
Yeah.
cool.
We just wasted so much money.
Yeah.
We don't need that electrical bill.
Yeah.
No, it's
Whatever.
fine.
But
So you did 3 turns.
in a day, so
For 5 gallon to make one.
for one barrel.
That's why you guys are in good
And you
physical
were-
shape, though. You look tight, nice and good.
Dad bots are killing it.
Okay, I've got a bad mirror.
I mean, Jeff's in great. Jeff, who's our brewer now, he's in great shape. But
Yeah.
So now, were you canning all that beer to sell like during the pandemic?
Yes.
Or
yes.
okay.
So we got a small a can filler, and then we got one of the ubiquitous October can steamers. So we filled all the cans ourselves.
Wow.
And labeled everything by hand, which is torturous.
Yes.
which we still do. But
Did you guys
see
just
our-
live here during that time period, or?
I mean, to an extent, we
Yes.
still do.
Yeah, it was
Okay,
still. But I
still
mean,
do.
that time period
Cool,
is easily 50, 60-hour weeks, maybe. Wow.
yeah, doing all
It
that.
was a lot of time.
Yeah.
It's fun being able to just look back and say, "Hey, remember when? Remember when things were awful?" Except not, but no. We were able to do that and
Get
build
your
up.
name out there.
Yeah, so we built
Yeah.
up an inventory over the course of a few months until we were able to open for curbside can sales, and
Yep.
had this guy Brian just running out there in the middle of winter and snow.
Buy my beer.
Well, no, people would buy it online. They
Okay.
they would purchase it online. They'd pull up. We had like one of those old garage doorbell sort of things where it's like this long black hose. People drive over and it rings a bell.
Oh, yeah.
like a gas station.
Nice.
We still got
Nice.
that in storage. I'm like, I don't know what we're gonna do with this now, but it's kind of awesome. I don't want to get rid of it. But and so then Brian would run all the beer out to them in the snow, and
Nice.
That's awesome.
That's great.
And then finally,
But that's the stuff you're going to remember,
yes,
you know?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
I don't know, I feel like that memory is being repressed.
We'll bring it up
No,
for you
no,
from time to time.
no. It was a good time to look back on. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Absolutely. But it was, an important stepping stone. And
Yeah.
again, if you're opening, I don't care whether you're selling beer, no matter what you're doing during the pandemic. If you're opening up a business, you make it successful by putting it together with Scotch tape and bubble gum, and that's what we did.
duct tape
Yep.
and applesauce.
Applesauce.
We don't typically like to talk too much about the COVID times, but we've heard the story multiple times. A brewery that's open during that time in the community just came.
Yeah.
Do you think you would have been as successful if maybe there wasn't the pandemic that happened? Like you might not have had the community aspect as.
To be perfectly honest, I think that there is a silver lining to be had with the pandemic in that because we had to pivot our business plan, we were forced to take baby steps that we wouldn't have otherwise. And so one of the things that was beneficial was it allowed us to be introspective in that respect, so that we were able to see how we've been able to grow and how we've been able to learn through each step along the way. So we started with just the curbside can sales, and then in April of 2021, we opened draft service just for an outside beer garden while the inside here was being constructed.
Did you have to have food?
We did.
What was your food? I always love this. What was what was the bullshit option food that you chose?
No, we actually never went through that. We just had food trucks.
Oh, okay.
Oh, smart.
Every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
And,
still rough.
But that's
a
hard.
lot of,
That's hard because if somebody cancels on you, you're screwed.
Which did.
Yeah.
Tell me about
Are you
that.
kidding me? Now we can't open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, thank you. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
That's rough.
We had some people just decide they wanted to leave halfway through our open hours.
Before we get busy. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if they run out of food too, it's like, what the fuck are you gonna do? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But
To be fair, the good people, like we had one truck who we love, who doesn't come anymore because they get better gigs. Not that I'm crabby about that, but they ran out of food a couple times. And because they were licensed for food, they would go to the pizza place around the corner, buy a couple pizzas, and just sell for $2 a slice.
That's
so
awesome.
they can still. Yes, we are still
right. So
serving
you
food.
guys
yeah.
can still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go. That's why
really
they're.
nice of
well,
them.
that's
That
also
was
why
them
their
doing
businesses
solid.
are growing because
Yeah.
they do the right thing and
Right.
take care of people. So
Yeah. What a weird time. I remember breweries.
Panini presses.
Yeah, they're like, we're going to make hot dogs.
And hot dogs. Yeah.
Every brewery had a hot dog machine at some point. But, all right, so let's talk about now.
Yep.
You're open.
Mm-hmm. What were you known for?
Yeah, what are you known for? Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, we were
Oh, that was not really the exciting.
Yeah, no, Mike said.
Bee's Knees was the first answer.
Yeah. So the Bee's Knees, our honey blonde, is our best seller.
Yes.
And I can go on about the Bee's Knees. I mean, well,
Go
it's
on,
it's a great light, crisp, refreshing ale. It's an
It
ale
is.
that kind of drinks like a lager. Mm-hmm. And
Agree.
there's just a little bit of honey in it. We use Worchel's honey. They're out of Whitensville.
Yep.
So local apiary. Which, again, I'm not a doctor, so I know this is a medical advice podcast now, too, right?
Yeah, it is.
So
We have that
I'm not a
license,
doctor, but from what I understand, local honey it helps with allergies.
It does.
So,
I have
Really good for
bees.
you.
I agree. It does.
yeah, so if you drink our beer, it'll help your allergies, maybe. I don't know. That medical advice is for entertainment purposes.
Keep pushing
only.
that.
We are not doctors. We are not doctors. Yeah.
But we totally agree.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but in general, so I mean, the beer is Mike's expression mostly, and Mike has always been a big fan of traditional UK and also other European beers.
Yeah.
Especially, we do mostly ales. We've done a couple lagers, and right now the tough thing is we have 4 tanks, and when you have 4 tanks and lagers take considerably longer than ales, it's tough to commit the real estate to doing the lagers. But in general, a lot of very traditional ales.
Yeah.
While trying to put a modern spin on traditional styles.
Well, just having a British IPA and being upfront about having a British IPA and not just calling it an IPA
Is awesome. Yeah. And it's something that we talked about this earlier. It's something different. Yes, it's still an IPA, but it's not the hazy NEPA that you can get anywhere. Right.
Yeah, and that actually, so the genesis of that was actually after we had opened, we had basically sort of started generating a reputation of doing traditional styles, and one of my friends, his name's Marty, he said to me, "Hey, you guys should make a British IPA. That seems like it'd be right up your alley." And I'm like, "I don't know, I need another IPA."
Fuck IPAs.
But it's like, actually, no, this could be a really cool way to sort of do something traditional, but still, bring in the dollars.
Yeah.
But so we gave it a shot, and it took off. People
That's awesome.
I really enjoyed it, but what does that say? I don't know. But I really enjoy it. People seem to really enjoy it. We're going to actually start getting that out into bars right now. Currently, that's kind of veering off course. But
That's fine. That's fine.
But yeah, people look for an IPA, like you said. It's like people wondering, what do you have for hazy? It's like, well, we have hazy because we like money.
Yeah.
We like to keep the lights on.
You want something that's a bit more crisp, refreshing.
We got kids, so
Not so heavy.
Kids eat food.
But this one,
Need mouths.
so a lot of people are surprised when they drink it because it's not citrusy, it's not
Right.
juicy, which is what people are used to these days with hazies. So it's got more of that earthy floral hotness to it, which is completely different, but it seems to be striking a note with people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
We need more European like that. We need.
I love that.
I love
Yeah.
that too. Yeah.
Well, also, we don't have it on draft 2, but another IPA that we'll probably be visiting again in the fall, we did our Hopping Tiger, which is our 120-minute IPA. And I know when I think 120-minute, I think
Dogfish.
Dogfish.
Of course.
Yep.
Our Hopping Tiger, wildly different. 7.6. It's very sweet because any 120-minute IPA where you have those
You have to
Maillard
balance it,
reactions.
right?
But that's exactly it. So yes, of course, it's a 120-minute West Coast style IPA. So yes, while it is very hoppy, you get a lot more of the malt with it. So it's a lot more balanced. I know IPAs, by definition, are not nearly as balanced as a lot of other beers, like by design. But what I loved about our Hopping Tiger, which was, despite being a higher price point, more prestige beer, we sold through it relatively quick because it was an IPA that people are comfortable with. People like those hop-forward flavors, but it was something that they were comfortable with, but not what they're used to. And finding, different spins on traditional styles like that has always been kind of our jam.
I actually say I haven't seen a 120 IPA in a long time, so it's kind of cool. At least they don't advertise it as that. So
Sure, yeah. I mean,
cool idea.
really, like Brian said, the most prominent one that comes to mind
it's Dogfish,
is
right?
Yeah.
But that's the only one that I would think of. I know of.
Yeah.
So
And the ABV on
that's
that,
cool.
I don't think they list the ABV of that, but it's it's high.
Don't.
Yeah.
Don't.
No, it's high.
It's high.
You know what you're getting into.
High ABV.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Absolutely. All right. Well,
Awesome.
Similar to making a New England style IPA, we have to keep the lights on for us. So we have a word from our sponsors.
Take it away, Ryan.
Are you a solo artist, band, podcaster, or anyone else who needs recording services?
Well, we got a place for you where your vision can become a reality.
Welcome to Small Pond Studios, built by hand with heart and sweat equity by musicians for musicians.
Go to smallpondstudios.io to reach out to get more information. And make sure you let them know that Brewroot sent you. Hey, Sound Guy Ryan here. Didn't know if you heard, but we're a part of the Hopped Up Network. There you'll find other informative podcasts about beer. So go ahead, follow them on social media, and visit them on their website, hoppedupnetwork.com, to learn more about the people, beer, and breweries from around the country. And until next time, thanks for listening. Cheers.
We're back.
Are we?
are back. Yeah, we are back.
Wow, that's crazy.
I never left.
Yeah, that's true. Actually,
Ryan
you
never
went to the
leaves.
restroom. You left.
We all did,
That's true.
Maybe he took us with him.
except Brian. He has a bladder of steel.
Is that true?
No.
Oh,
I'm just saying, you're the only one who didn't go to the bathroom.
I've already gone twice since you've been here. That's how this podcast, I mean,
how do you know? How do you know he didn't go to the bathroom while we were talking?
How do you know?
Got him. Got him.
So Ryan, you always want to ask some questions. So
All
ask
right,
them.
Mr. Sales Guy. All right. The market's really tough.
Market's really
Market.
tough.
There's beer after beer. Some people think they all taste the same, right? How do you approach your wholesale accounts and be like, hey, buy my beer? Like, I want you to sell me your beer. Like, what's your pitch?
So that's a great question. We actually don't do that much wholesale.
Pretend you do.
Okay, so my pitch is, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, just pretend.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm putting you on the spot.
Yeah, no worries. So thank
gonna
you,
be that kind of party.
Mr. Bar owner, and thank you for the meeting with us. At Rushford and Sons, we try to do very traditional, modern spins on traditional styles. There's a lot of traditional styles that are often unrepresented on a lot of bar menus. So where you might feel that all beer tastes the same, of course. So there's some people that like beer, some people like booze, some people like wine, some people like all of it, like me. With beer, having a wide variety, especially a wide variety with a story, is going to resonate more with your customers. And with Rushford and Sons, we have a great story. We have a beer that, while accessible, is going to be a little bit different than something you're going to get elsewhere. So it will resonate with your customers. It will generate more sales, and I also like my job, so please keep me employed. Thank you.
So
That was the best one. That's done. Sold.
That is why he went to the
into it.
bathroom twice. He was practicing that.
Yeah, he was practicing that.
In the mirror.
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to ask that because I just saw, one of your employees walk out with a case of beer. So I'm assuming you do like little wholesale stuff here and there.
Well, we're starting to. Literally, she just opened, Rachel, who's our second employee that we ever hired. And thankfully, we just were able to promote her to full-time 3 weeks ago, just roughly a month ago, and she's crushing it.
She's already my favorite. She, for everyone who wasn't here, well, I mean, you're here, but you're not. When she came through the door, she was like tiptoeing. She took off her flip-flops, okay, people, to walk across the tap room.
While we were recording. So that she'd be so
you
quiet.
Didn't even know.
You didn't even know.
I didn't know.
You had no idea.
We how many episodes have we done? Over 215.
We've had a pause.
We've never ever seen this in our
the first.
whole 200.
So that's why we're going to say
episodes.
just come to Rushford.
Yes.
Because they are the best.
Great people.
Our staff is literally the best staff ever.
Yeah.
But back to the whole sales pitch. No, I agree. I mean, you have a lot of really classic styles that have that nice little modern twist to it. And I think you can really take it beyond, hopefully in the future, of what you're currently doing. It's really just how much can you brew?
Yeah.
Right. That's really what it would come down to, because you don't want to keep selling. And have you run into that at all? Like, are you able to, or let me rephrase this. Do you find yourself not able to sell and expand your wholesale accounts because you need to make sure the tap room is supplied first?
Yeah, so right now that is kind of where we're at.
Got it.
We are working on, and this is more of Mike than me, but we are working on making our production side as efficient as possible and making sure we can crank out more. Because right now we are kind of keeping up with our taproom demand, but we want to get our brand out there. And the nice thing about as a nano brewery, distributing to surrounding towns, small bars, like it's marketing you make a few bucks on. It's not really a primary revenue stream because we just can't produce, nevertheless distribute the weight that we need to move to really make it a primary revenue stream. And it was never in our business plan for the first 3 years, it was never intended as a primary revenue stream. Any distribution is marketing we make money on more than anything else. But with that said, it's something we are in the process of starting to get out there.
And here's another, random question. Do you have any flagships that you could outsource contract brew?
Yes, but we're not going to.
Excellent choice. 10 out of 10 recommend that.
I noticed the hard seltzer. I'd be remiss not to ask. Was that in part of the original plan, or was that something
Never.
that pivoted?
I had to put Mike in a headlock and be like, "You're going to make a hard seltzer. We have kids. We need to feed them. There are people that don't like beer who like hanging out here." And the thing is, too. So to be fair, I had to muscle Mike in the hard seltzer. It was a struggle.
Well, truth be told, I mean, the real impetus for it was we did have people asking for it, and it was actually my friend Jay Rondo, who owns Penny Pinchers in Millbury.
We're going there next.
Really nice.
No kidding.
Yeah, we love Jay.
So Jay is awesome guy. You want to do polar opposite beer style.
Yeah, so we get along great because we have completely different brewing philosophies.
Love it.
He's very much like, let's
Hype
do
train,
everything that we can, and let's push boundaries, let's push the envelope, and that's what he does, and he excels.
And you're like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Well, it's not for me. It's not so much that. So much as it is, I love traditional styles.
Yeah.
I feel like they're really underrepresented, and I really want to be able to provide something along those lines.
We definitely agree.
But I love what Jay does. And so what it was he said to me that he did offer a seltzer of sorts. And so he said to me, we were talking one day, he's like, well, think about it. You've got people that come there. You've got a group of people or even a couple, one person's drinking beer and the other person's like, I don't like beer. I mean,
they don't sound like that. They sound
I don't like beer. But then you give them a reason to stay. So then instead of just one person having one beer and then the couple leaving, then that person then has a few beers and the other person has a seltzer. And
it's also more of a pleasant experience, and they might recommend you, or they might enjoy themselves and come back or something.
Right. And so that ultimately was what pushed me over the edge. It was just like, oh, God, Jay, I hate it.
Did you ever get scared that you'd be known for your seltzers, though?
I mean,
they're really good.
I'd prefer not.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a necessary evil in my eyes. So with that said, I really like it.
Yeah.
I drink a lot of it. I hate that I have to make it, but I drink more of it than anybody.
Oh, man. Hot stuff.
That is
real tough.
I think that's the video clip for the week.
That's it.
Sorry, guys.
There is a brewery near us who this summer has made more seltzer than beer, unfortunately. He's like, I hate this, but it's what's selling right now.
Soul crippling.
He knows.
Yes.
I mean, he knows that.
Especially with the water that they have, they're using.
Yeah, exactly. But he knows, come fall and winter, that won't be the case.
All right, guys, before we move on, can I just point out, Mike, oh man, I hate seltzer. So I drink a lot of seltzer.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yes.
Our seltzer.
Yeah.
Seltzer.
Oh, you're not crushing the high noons and all that stuff?
No, I've never had a White Claw.
Ooh.
I don't know what they taste like or anything.
No, White Claws, they're fine. They taste like...
So wait, how did you make a seltzer without even knowing what the big seltzers tasted like?
It's just sugar water.
They're near Worcester.
Right.
They know what polar seltzer tastes like. Just add a little boost
I
to
don't
it.
know.
Yeah, we know polar seltzer.
Okay.
Yeah, we know polar.
I don't even drink plain seltzer.
I need to try the seltzer after this. So
Okay.
Let's
just see. Let's just see what
You're going to get a
it's
flavor
at.
of seltzer you're not going to get anywhere else, I'll tell you that.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I saw sweet tea, orange vanilla.
Oh, no. We're going off menu.
Damn.
We've been having a lot of fun, too, with the
damn.
seltzers lately because you can kind of do craft cocktails just with seltzer.
Right.
Yeah, so what we
kinda-
do is we make a plain unflavored seltzer and then we package it in kegs. We do some cans and we add flavoring to the cans at packaging, but for our draft, it's a plain seltzer.
but what is the
unflavored.
difference between that and like a Weiss beer, right? Like, I mean, that's what they were doing for so long with just adding syrup to different beers,
so they
right?
have they have the different the two primary Was it like raspberry?
It was raspberry. And I don't know the other one.
I don't think
Lemonade or lemon?
I want to. It's not wormwood. It's something.
No, I know what you're talking about.
I can't remember it off the top of my head, but yeah. So
comes
Weiss
to our
beer,
mind.
and traditionally served is, you go to Germany, like you order a Weiss beer, and they're like, okay, which do you want? And you can't say neither.
Yeah. Or I mean, like to your point too, you say like a Radler. You were mentioning,
please?
yeah. But I mean,
Can
like,
I just have the beer? No.
but they've been doing that. They've been doing that with Nine. They've been doing that with beer for a while. I mean, the Radler as well.
Yep.
Like, just adding lemonade or.
Exactly. Yeah. So we do mostly our seltzer's kind of like a cocktail at pouring.
Love
we
it.
have different flavors that we can add, and it's a mix and match and whatever
That's
works.
fun.
Yeah.
I'm excited to have an off menu
So
on that.
cool.
Oh yeah.
So, what's next? I mean, it's hard to look into the future, but I mean, if you could change something about the brewery, like what would that be?
Right now, the thing that I would want to change would just be adding capacity.
Yeah.
So that's something that we are looking at, but it requires
On the brewing side
on
or
the
on
brewing
the-
side.
okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that feeds into being able to brew a more wider variety of things. So we talked about how lagers take a long time.
And you
a lot of
have
real
4
estate.
fermenters.
So we'd be able to have an additional tank that we could devote to something like that. But also
You could put one
in
on here
terms of
somewhere. No, just hang it up somewhere.
Yeah, just have a vertical tank above the bar.
just
No
hang it on the
problem.
ceiling or
Have
something.
it
I
go
don't
through
know.
the HVAC and everything will smell. Oh, it'll be so good.
yeah, or not.
Yeah.
Hey, if you
But
ever
it-
do it and you make a lot of money off of it, I want to cut. All I'm saying.
I don't remember.
I wouldn't
this
hold your breath.
conversation.
Just note it.
But it would
can't
also
hold it
help
long.
with our wholesale endeavors,
definitely.
being able to produce additional volumes in that respect. So that's what and we are looking now at developing, for instance, like our years 3 to 5 business plan. Like, so what do we do now? And
That
that's
time
where
fly by.
I can't believe we're here.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's where we're starting to spend a lot of our focus right now is
Yep.
how do we
What are the next
how do we
steps?
go? Where do we
What do
go?
you do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's next.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the biggest next step that I'm working on right now with my great staff and some towns and other businesses in towns is the big step for 2023 for us is doing pop-up beer gardens in towns that don't have breweries.
Yeah.
So there's a couple towns we're targeting is, okay, cool, our beer is great. And we can just show up there and be like, hey, we have beer, come buy some, but that's not really all we offer because it's more than just great beer. So doing a pop-up beer garden and saying, hey, we have these locals vendors in town who are going to be selling their craft. We have this local food truck or food pop-up in town who's going to be selling food. We're going to have, we'll bring our cornhole sets.
You're
We'll bring,
selling the experience.
yeah, well, the whole
Yeah.
experience. Because again, beer is great. You can go and buy a great 4-pack of craft beer for $8-9 at pretty much any liquor store.
Right.
Why are you going to spend $7-8-9 or even $15 on one of our 4-packs? What do we offer that you can't get for $9 at the liquor store? And that's what we want to go on the road a little bit.
On the road?
On the road.
Yeah. I'm excited for what you're doing.
That's
I think
awesome.
the beer's wonderful. It
Thank you.
really.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. I want our listeners to come to Upton. Not only are there great breweries in the surrounding area, but don't
Upton.
sleep on Upton as
Yeah.
well. We were talking about Nevermind Records right there. I'm
Yes.
such an audiophile, so
Yeah.
definitely if you're looking for records and you're looking to get some beer,
Yeah, you got to go to the Nevermind shop. Make
Yeah, shout out to Mick Lawless, who is the guy who owns
Mick Lawless. Is that his real name?
That's his.
Sure.
That's
Is the
I'm sure it is.
I've already decided.
if it isn't, it's a disappointment. But if it is, good for him. Yeah.
No, let's go with it. I love it.
But I'm excited for see what's next with you. Collaboration beers. You doing any collaborations?
We have talked about it, for instance, with Penny Pinchers. You and I have we've talked about it a little bit, but it's hard scheduling.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially like small breweries when you're like trying to keep demand up and everything
Exactly.
else. So
Yeah.
Yeah. So, any other questions?
Negative Ghost Rider.
No, that was amazing.
I know that you can type it into the GPS machine on your Android or Apple device, but where are you physically located?
We're at 8 Grove Street in Upton.
Grove?
Grove.
Okay.
As
Grove.
in part of a forest, the woodland area.
Yeah.
Grove.
Or traditionally a planned group of fruit-bearing trees.
Oh,
I believe. Is that pretty good?
Yeah.
What's an actual definition of brew? I think I nailed it.
I think you
nailed
did
it.
actually. That sounded really.
You nailed it and snailed it. I liked it.
I would just say I drove here, but with a G. I don't know.
Yeah.
Brian's not as creative.
No.
So we're basically we're across 140 from Town Hall.
Cool.
So yeah,
Yeah. And social media, where are you located?
at RAS Brewhouse.
RAS Brewhouse. That's a cool one. Yeah.
Rushford and Sons.
Yeah.
Sense.
Yeah. Condenses it a little bit.
Raz Brewhouse.
Razzmatazz.
Brian, you really went in all in. You have a tattoo of the logo.
Yep. And
Isn't that a
also,
logo?
Oh, you both did.
Oh, you both did, right?
yeah,
Oh, look
logo,
at it.
Bees Knees Bee, and my cheat sheet if I ever
They
forget
both
how to make beer. I got the matching.
I got it first.
Oh, he
I was
copied you?
supposed to. No,
I see
I
what
was
happened
supposed
here.
to.
He had an appointment before me. We planned it together because we're
That's
dorks.
cute.
But we planned it together. We were like, yeah, we're gonna get matching tats. And then
Yeah.
he's had his appointment scheduled before me, but then something happened and it wasn't able to happen. I don't remember what because I don't pay that much attention to his personal life. Yada yada yada. I was first.
Yeah.
I win.
We need to take a picture of these
Yeah, I
tats.
think we need to take a picture,
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Cool.
Hold them up for the camera.
Yeah. Hold up the camera. Well, thank you for doing this today.
Yeah, thank you for coming and thank you for
problem.
having me on the
Anytime.
podcast. Really appreciate
Anytime.
it.
No problem. The beer was awesome. So we definitely want our listeners to come down to Rushford and Sons in Upton, Massachusetts. The beer's awesome. The
The
tap
space is
room is
amazing.
really, really cool too.
Yeah.
Family friendly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yes.
I said that a few
I don't know
times.
if you noticed the changing tables in the
Yeah,
bathrooms.
we did. Dogs.
Not inside.
No,
Outside, yeah.
Outside only. Yeah, just want to make sure. And cool. Check their website out for their hours of operation and make sure you enjoy a beer or two or four. Responsibly.
10.
Or not. Responsibly.
Responsibly.
No. And they also have hard seltzer.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.